Good morning, good morning. So I'll just start and let the others in as they come in. A warm and hearty welcome from the Portal of Alchemy. And thank you for joining this wonderful wellness and lifestyle conference. Thanks to Priscilla and Tracy for organizing and the invite. Really appreciate it. So today's topic is all about chakra imbalances and its effect on our health. And it's something that I'm very passionate about because for the past 10 years I've been doing chakra balancings. So understand the function thereof very well and how to make it shift in various ways. So let me just start and see if I can, if we look at the various chakras. So we have the base chakra, which is at the root of the, at the base of the spine. Then we've got the sacral chakra, your solar plexus, your heart chakra, your throat chakra, third eye, and crown chakra. Now they're all linked to vital organs. And they give life force energy to those organs to make them healthy. So if your chakras is cleared, balanced, and aligned, all these are functioning at optimal levels because energy is coming in and they can function properly. Now, so we've got chakras in our feet, we've got chakras in our hand, we've got energy coming from above, we've got energy coming from earth, and it all affects our radiant self. So when they're clear and we are these channels of light, then we can radiate like that. But most people don't, and that's why they come for chakra balancings. The chakra spins in a cone-like fashion from the center and the core of your body outside. And it spins through all your bodies. We've got the physical body, then your emotional body, your mental body, and your spiritual body. So all the cells are influenced by them. When a client comes for a chakra balancing, I check to see what is the priority chakras. Which chakras needs balancing. Now, to understand the chakras is it is affected by emotions, and different emotions affect chakras differently. So our bodies become, I'm going to say, hoarding stations of all these emotions that we hold on to. And it is our responsibility to do, to practice some emotional hygiene. And it is to let the things go, to let the emotions go. And I'm going to go through the various chakras to let you know which ones are affected by what. So we're going to start with the root chakra, the bottom one, the red one at the base of the spine. So in your root chakra, it's actually to do with your roots. It's where you come from. It's your upbringing. A lot of the fears and anxieties come from parents or conditioning or learned behavior or anything, things like those. So the root chakra, the central issues that blocks the base chakra is fear, anxiety, anger, where you don't feel grounded, where you don't feel safe and secure. Safety and security affects the root chakra tremendously. So when your root chakra is open and cleared and balanced and aligned, you feel a sense of belonging in the world. You feel grounded. It's easier for you to ground. You feel safe and secure. You're secure within your body. You're secure within your being. The other issues is fears around self-preservation, misperceptions that we have. So a chakra can either be overactive or underactive, depending on what emotions we hold. When a base chakra is imbalanced, the physical dysfunctions would be frequent illness, disorders of the bowel. As I said previously, it's connected to various organs, so it affects the bowel, the large intestines, the bones, the teeth, the problems with your legs, your feet, the base of the spine, chronic lower back pains, eating disorders, depression, immune-related disorders, and skin problems. So when you have any of those or multiples of those, then most probably the base chakra needs some attention. And it's to let things go. It's to let the emotions go. So when it is excessive, you'll feel sluggish or lazy or tired, or there will be overeating or obesity or hoarding, because you're holding on to those emotions and they affect you in different ways. When it's deficient, you'll find yourself being more fearful, being more anxious, more restless, the lack of discipline, underweight, financial problems. Those are all affected by a base chakra being deficient, underactive. So in a chakra balancing, what I do is I help you clear and release all those emotions. So when I listen to a physical ailment, I know which chakras are out of balance, and I go and I focus on those areas and I help release. And when I ask a client to reveal to me their story, their life story, and things that are emotionally affected them, there's always a correlation. It's never a surprise which chakras are out of alignment or blocked. There's always proof of that. And the most severe case that I had where it got healed by chakra balancings was there was a lady on the South Coast, and she was very spiritual, and her husband wasn't spiritual. But he had certain ailments, and he actually just lost feelings in his legs, and he was lame. Suddenly, just by the Monday, he became lame, and he couldn't walk, and they have taken him for CAT scans and for MRIs and this and that, and all the doctors kept on saying that there's no medical reason why he can't walk, but he couldn't walk. So his wife phoned me and said, can I help him? Now, how I work is I connect with my higher self, and I connect with all my guides, and I connect with the client and their higher self. So I asked her, and I sat there and I asked, can I help this gentleman? And I got yes. So I said yes, having no idea what I have to do. I just follow Spirit's instruction. If they say yes, that is yes. And I'm always divinely guided, so I'm grateful for that. He came in a wheelchair. He sat in front of me, his wife left, and I asked him, so just tell me your story, tell me your history. And he started off with a very traumatic event where he was 6 years old. His father told him that he loved him, put a gun to his head, and shot himself in front of the 6-year-old child. His life just span out of control. It was just one worse incident upon another worse incident. Safety and security was non-existent. His base was totally shocked. When I connected with the guides and I said, okay, so how I'm going to help this gentleman, I got that I needed to do a chakra balancing. So I worked 3 hours on his base chakra, and he sobbed for those 3 hours. After the session, his one leg just twitched a little bit. I asked her when he needs to come back. God says in 3 days' time. I told him he needs to come back in 3 days' time. Did another chakra balancing, go working on the other chakras. Then he could, again, so in 3 days' time, he came in with crutches. He was no more in a wheelchair. He then did another chakra balancing. He sobbed for 3 hours because I take the clients into those emotions and release and release and release and clear and release and clear. And by the third time that he came, 3 days later, he had to come for the next one. And he was totally cleared and healed. He could walk, he was fighting fit. I did an activation for him, connected him to his guides, and I never saw him again. He was back to his normal self. And that's the power of releasing the emotions, of a chakra balancing. We don't realize the physical effect that it has on our bodies, but it does. And with one client, she said that a doctor kept on saying you can't help her anymore. She kept on coming for ulcer problems and problems within her digestive system, heartburn and stuff. And she was taking stuff, and she said, but it's something's wrong here. You must look here. And then they look, there's nothing there. Because it's not physical. It's the emotions that she held here in her core. And when I helped her with her chakra balance, she said she's never felt this good. She didn't realize that just a simple thing as having a chakra balancing can have such a profound effect on her. So it is definitely been proven over and over again. So if we get to the second chakra, it's the sacral chakra, it's the orange one. The sacral chakra is all about sensuality and sexuality, and it's codes of honor and ethics. Finances is also linked in the sacral chakra. So worrying about finances will show up as lower back pain. So when a client tells me their ailment, I know where to go into the body, help them release those emotions. And when I ask what's going on in their life, there will always be a correlation. So it's especially with females, so they call it our creative center, because we create life in that center. But whenever there's issues around any sexual issues, or where there's been a rape or anything like that, usually it shows up for me. I see that the sacral chakra is closed and the throat chakra is closed. And for me, when those two are closed, it usually gives me indication that something happened when they were a child. And when I ask them, if it's male or female, it's been spot on every time. There has been tampering, and the body has restored, it has kept that fear and that anxiety and those feelings, and it's still there, and it's never been addressed, it's never been healed, it's never been acknowledged, it's never been cleared. And sometimes ladies are in their 60s or 70s, and I'll be the first person that they talk about it or tell or release. Chronic low back pains, all that. That is usually the physical dysfunctions that will show up, one of them or all of them, due to a closed sacral chakra. And the emotions that we hold there, when it's excessive, there's this need for sexual pleasure continuously, sort of addicted to that. Other addictions will show up, excessive sensitivity, strong emotions, all those things. When it's deficient, there will be poor social skills, frigidity, fear of sex, a lack of desire, lack of passion, lack of excitement, denial of pleasures, fear of change. Those are the things that will show up if it's deficient. And it's just to get everything in balance. When everything is cleared and balanced, we still have free will choice in what we choose to participate and not participate in, how we work. But it's to allow the energy to flow, because ultimately, if we hold those emotions for extended periods of time, it does affect the organs. Yeah. So that's the sacral chakra, all about the sacral chakra. I had a lady that came to me once that she had female problems, and she said her gynae said that she needs this operation. It's going to cost her 10,000 Rand to fix. I said, "Can I come for a session?" And I asked, "Can I help her?" And I got yes. And worked on her ovaries area and cleared the energy there, healed it. And she went back to the doctor, and the gynae, and the operation wasn't needed. She saved herself some 10,000 rand. So we don't always need the operations. Yes, it is valid, and yes, it is. It's got its time and its place. So don't get me wrong. But sometimes, if we just clear ourselves of those emotions that we've been holding on, of the effects of the traumas or the things, the life experiences that we've been through, when we just clear it, we can heal ourselves. And that's why one of my I'm gonna say Bibles that I have here is Louise Hay, you can heal your life. Definitely a worthwhile book to have in your collection of must-have books, especially if you have little ones and they've got tummy aches and they can't explain to you what's going on. By helping them and by understanding, it's they're dealing with these emotions, you can better help them, because it's all about emotions. So when we get to the third solar plexus chakra, the solar plexus chakra is all about power. It's our power center. So it's either where you feel powerful or powerless, where it affects your self or your self-worth, self-esteem, self-image, sits here. So if it's low and not good, or people have badmouthed you or made you feel bad, it will affect you. Yeah. So like when my ex-husband passed away, I had this hollow feeling in my solar plexus. It felt like there's a hole. It was the most terrible feeling. It's like I wanted to put crystals and crystals and more crystals, because that sense of feeling powerless was just so overwhelming. Understand the effects of when we feel certain emotions within our body, we can heal it through a chakra balancing. And so when solar plexus is dysfunctional, when it is not operating as it should, the physical dysfunctions would show up as arthritis, digestive orders, especially irritable bowel syndrome. Then okay, the solar plexus needs some attention. The other things are ulcers, colon issues, intestinal issues, anorexia or bulimia, pancreatitis, diabetes, gallstones, allergies, problems with the stomach and the liver, because it's usually stuff that has happened in your life that you couldn't stomach, that your body isn't able to process those emotions. It's either been suppressed, or I'm not to look there, or I don't know how to heal it, or I can't do anything about it. I'm powerless in this situation. And it is sometimes you need guidance, so just to help you. Okay, let it out, let it go, set it free, and there's various practitioners there that can help you with that. So when a solar plexus is excessive, there's they become overly aggressive. There's some nervousness. There's domination, there's controlling, there's blaming, there's arrogance, there's manipulative behaviors, there's they're power hungry, there's stubbornness, there's hyperactivity, and there's lots of competition. And those are usually the signs that solar plexus is excessive. You overexert your power. When it's deficient, it will show up as low energy. Just feel like you've got no energy. Your batteries is flat. There's a weak will. There's poor self-esteem. There's passiveness, sluggishness, fearfulness. There's poor digestion. There's poor discipline. You become emotionally and physically cold. You withdraw. You carry victim mentality or the blaming of others. And those are all things that get to show that it's deficient. And it's to get it back to balanced through a chakra balancing. The next center is at the center of our chest, and that's our heart center. And our heart chakra is all about the core emotions of love. And people that have problems with their heart or problems with their lungs, it's usually because their heart chakra is closed. And if you don't give energy into the heart center and allow the heart to pulsate this energy, sometimes all the blocks and barriers that we place closes off of that energy center, and then it's not functioning. It can't give the energy to the vital organs. And it is to look at that, it's to acknowledge that, and then do something about it, because we can do something about it. We are the only ones that can do something about it. It's to become aware, there's something that I'm holding on in the heart chakra, and it's usually issues around love or stuff that you love. It could be losing your family due to divorce, or losing a spouse, or a child, or a pet, or a parent, or there's usually some loss, or loss of our old lifestyle due to a job loss, or loss of not having a childhood. Carrying those emotions of heartache and pain due to not having a proper childhood. So it's usually unexpressed grief and sadness that you carry in the heart that affects the heart chakra. And it is it's to do with self-love or lack of self-love. Unforgiveness closes our heart chakra. And it might be unforgiveness towards others, but the last unforgiveness that we usually struggle with is unforgiveness towards ourselves. Do we truly forgive ourselves for what has happened, what we've said, not done, not done, what has transpired in our life? Yes. So those are the things. Relationship and intimacy issues closes the heart chakra. Lack of devotion from either party closes the heart chakra. Depression and loneliness closes our heart chakra. And we just cut ourselves more off from that which we really want. So it is to open up again and release that grief and sadness. The disorders, when your heart chakra is closed, the disorders that will show up is the disorders of the heart, of the lungs, of your thymus. If your thymus isn't operating, the key to opening it up is in the heart. So to understand, clear the heart, and you'll clear your thymus issues. It's really, if you understand the emotions that triggers the body, because your body has these ailments or diseases to alert you, hey, you're holding on to stuff. It's like if you vacuum a place and suddenly you hear the vacuum cleaner is making a funny noise. It's not sucking as it used to suck or whatever. It's usually dirty, and that's the body. So you will go clean out the vacuum cleaner, and it's to understand that you need to clean out yourself as well. Again, coming back to emotional hygiene. Rid yourself of those emotions that has been affecting you. Don't just brush them off and say, oh, that was in the past, or that didn't affect me. If there's signs in your body that something's ain't right, it has affected you. And sometimes you just need a sounding board, somebody that you can talk to, and then release that or understand it from a different vantage point. So other things would be problems in the breast or breast cancer. Let me just quickly check. Also, our arms is connected to our heart chakra. Asthma, allergies is connected to the heart chakra. Circulatory problems is connected to the heart. And immune system deficiencies and tendencies, tension between the shoulders is also the heart chakra. So if you understand that, then you can clear that. So if it's a deficient, if it's excessive, then we become demanding, jealous, codependency, poor boundaries, overly sacrificing, and become possessive. Those are the traits when a heart chakra is overly excessive. When it's deficient, a heart chakra will show up as being antisocial, withdrawn, cold, shy, judgmental, intolerant, loneliness, depression, fear of intimacy, fear of relationships, lack of empathy, narcissism, and bitterness. That's what will come out if your heart is not open. So it's to clear that and open that. The next chakra that we are moving on to is the throat chakra. It's the blue one. And the throat chakra is all about communication and the ability to communicate, the ability to express your feelings and emotions, the ability to express your truth. And the greatest emotion that blocks our throat chakra is lies. So if others tell you lies, you can swallow the lies and you can eat the lies and you can swallow it. But there comes a time in your life where it's just you can't take anymore. If that person lies to you again, it feels like you want to vomit. And usually when children vomit or when you vomit, there's something that you're not expressing. There's something that needs to come out. That's toxic energy. It's poisonous to your body. And it's usually the emotions. It's something that's happening in the life that you can't take anymore. So to listen to the body, because it tells, our body is so clever and wise. It tells us everything. We just need to become good listeners and say, okay, so there's something unease in the body. What is it trying to tell me? And a healer like myself or others, or books that you can open up and read, or online. It's a physical reason for a sore throat. Oh, okay, it's this. How did they know? I'm not speaking to my boss about the issues that I have. So there's so many ways that you can find out. I invite you to start looking more deeply into these things, because then you can heal it properly. It's like medicines are sometimes just like subdue the symptoms. It just keeps the symptoms in check. But things that come up chronically, repetitively, people will say, oh, but I'm on my third antibiotics, or I'm on my third cycle of this, and it just doesn't want to go away. It's because it's not that. It's like I had a lady in Joburg, and the only way we could do sessions was via Zoom. And she said since December, she had such severe lower back pain, in excruciating pain, like to the highest levels that you can get. She had a little child and she couldn't pick up the child anymore, and she felt bad. And she said she went to the chiropractor, and it will last 3 days and then the pain will be back. And she went from this person to this person, but nothing lasted, nothing happened. So she said, can I help her with a lower back pain? And the only ways we could do it was online. And she was a little bit skeptical. It's like, how am I on the other side of the screen now going to help her with her lower back pain? And again, went back to the emotion. So what happened December? Mother started staying with them in the house, and then it extended. And then all the things that has come up. Oh my golly, she couldn't believe that it was so accurate and that everything tied up so beautifully. I did a healing where we healed the issues, the mother issues, where we healed the issues with the husband and feeling lack of support and whatever. The lower back pain was gone. In that session, it disappeared. Afterwards, she said it hasn't come back. Months later, she still tells me, my lower back pain has still not come back. She's so surprised that by just releasing those emotions that little irritations that build up, and our body can't carry those emotions anymore. So it is really worthwhile checking in and doing some emotional hygiene from time to time. So when a throat chakra is dysfunctional and it's blocked by years of not expressing your truth, it will show up as the physical dysfunctions. It would be a raspy throat. Usually you've got an itchy, scratchy throat. It's like you have to clear your throat. The words want to come out, but you don't necessarily have the courage to express it. or where there's a postnasal drip and you have this constant postnasal drip. It's the negative influences. It's somebody in your environment or yourself. It's negative self-talk, and you swallow it and you swallow it. If you clear that or understand it or set boundaries, you'll see that that issue disappears. If you speak your truth, your raspy throat becomes right. So it's to listen to what the body says. Also, gum difficulties, ulcers, stuff in the mouth, laryngitis, swallowing glands, headaches, pain in the neck and shoulders. Usually in your life there's somebody that's a pain in the neck. And if it's on the right hand side, it's usually masculine, and if it's on the left hand side, it's usually feminine, somebody female. So our bodies is just very, very clever. So it is to release that, to clear that. When it's excessive, when our throat chakra is excessive, we tend to talk too much. Some people, they are defensive by talking. They want to overtalk people so that people don't get to the inside. They use talking as a defense. So there's an inability for them to listen. They like gossiping and interrupting others, and they tend to stutter as well. And that's because their body is actually trying to keep them back, because too much wants to come out, and it's not necessarily always healthy for others to experience that. So yeah. The other thing, so when it is deficient, there's usually a fear of speaking to the boss, or fear of speaking to this one, or fear of speaking to that one, or fear of speaking your truth, or difficulty putting your feelings into words. So it is to do that, clear that, heal that, and then your communication levels will change, how the way you communicate with the world. The sixth chakra is our third eye, and that chakra is influenced by veils of illusion and turning a blind eye, not wanting to see the truth, or rather wanting to believe the lie. And we close ourselves off. And when we close our third eye off, the physical dysfunctions shows up as headaches or eye or ear diseases. Difficulty visualizing, difficulty in remembering dreams, and our dreams comes to tell us so much. Then when it's excessive, there's a tendency to have hallucinations, nightmares, obsessions, delusions, difficulty in concentrating, and headaches. When it is deficient, there's poor vision, poor memory, insensitivities, a lack of imagination, difficulty visualizing, difficulty seeing one's future. It's just denials, deny. And it closes us up. And then when we want to visualize, when we want to meditate, we can't. So it's to clear that, it's to activate the third eye so that you can see clearly again, see your life clearly. Use your imagination for the better, for constructive, for creative, creating a beautiful life. So, and then the last chakra, the major chakra, because we have many chakras. I'm just talking about the 7 major ones. The last one is our crown chakra. And our crown chakra is the one we usually connect to source with. It's our connection to source. So I find that people tend to close off the bottom chakras, and for long periods of time it will work up to the higher ones. And in very few cases have I seen that the crown chakra is closed, because that's sort of the last one that people close. And it's usually when there's been great trauma, or a loss of a child, or a loss of a spouse, or a loss of something, and they lost their trust in God. They lost their faith, and they turn their back to source. It's like then they close off, and it's like this no one above. And I find in most of those cases, then the crown chakra will be closed. Usually, third eye and crown is still open, but the others are not always. The bottom ones need some attention. And sometimes it's haphazard. It's different ones at different times that are closed. So with the crown chakra, deficiencies, when that one is blocked, there will be energetic disorders, depression, being in a coma, migraines, brain tumors, amnesia, all those chronic brain disorders will show up. When it's excessive, there will be over intellectualizing. Could be can be spiritual addictions. There can be confusion. When it's deficient, there's when it's deficient, there would be cynicism, learning difficulties, and all that. So our chakras is affected by our emotions. And we have the power to either activate them with feel-good emotions or deactivate them with feel-bad emotions. So how we feel has an effect on our well-being. And if you can't get to those feel-good emotions, or if something has been troubling you, it's worthwhile going for some kind of energy healing where somebody can guide you to help you heal and put back life force energy. I'll just, for those that hasn't seen it in the beginning, just will show it once more. So each chakra, just ending off with what we started off with, each chakra is linked to vital organs. And by clearing the energy in those energy centers, it sends a healthy life force energy then back to those chakras and to those organs. And we have the ability to get ourselves back to feeling like this. Sometimes we need help, but it's all to do with just coming back to emotions, understanding emotions, clearing emotions, healing emotions. So, got a few more minutes, and I just wanted to find out, this is a question and answer session. You are welcome to ask me any questions about chakras or chakra balancings or ailments, and I will gladly answer them to the best of my ability. Any questions? You can just unmute yourself. Any feedback you would like to give? Have you had a good chakra balancing lately? And what was your effect or response? Or Stephen?
Yes, hi. Thank you so much, first of all, for the talk this morning. It's been really informative. My question that I had was, what would you say, or rather, which chakra would be related to really tight fascia in the back? You mentioned something about if there's tension between the shoulders or shoulder blades, but yes, which chakra would that be affected by normally?
The heart chakra.
The heart chakra, okay, interesting. Thank you for that.
No, you're welcome. Anyone else would like to share something, ask something? Barbara, you've muted yourself again. You've muted yourself. There you go.
Yes, I found that actually very interesting. And, you know, I mean, I've always known about chakras, but I've never really put it in my mind in the way that you explained it today. I now completely understand that how the emotions in the body affects the different organs. But what I want to know, I mean, all of my chakras. So like if I came to you for a chakra balancing, it would have to be one chakra at a time, I think. Is that how you would do it, or would you be able to do it all in one?
You see, it depends on the work that needs to be done. So most of the times I can do all the chakras in one session. Or say, for instance, just the bottom 3 chakras are blocked. Then I help clear, balance, and align the bottom 3, and those are the priority. There's usually a priority one that will show up in the body. And when I assess and I connect and I ask, I get to what is priority. And sometimes what we think is priority, the mind thinks is a priority, is not necessarily what the body thinks is priority. And I listen to the body and I listen to spirits, and then I'm guided. Sometimes it can be healed through a guided meditation. Sometimes if it's related to a person or event that has happened, I clear the energy and the dynamic between those two souls. So I connect, and it's like, for instance, if forgiveness needs to take place, and then I connect and connect the two, and you have an opportunity to hear them out, and then understand. It's like this one lady. She said she can never forgive. She was never going to forgive. People tell her to forgive, but it's just it's an impossibility. But when I took her in and she saw it from a higher vantage point, she had understanding. Oh, okay, now I get it. And she had no problem in forgiving. And the tears just rolled. It's like when you release those emotions, especially if the tears are rolling. And that's why many times I think I should have a fine print on my appointments. It's like, don't even wear makeup because it all smudges. Because most people cry in a session, but it's good because it's a release, and it's like the buildup of that energy, and I open it up and it just gets released and cleared, and so sometimes you might have one chakra that's out. Sometimes they might be just focused on one. Sometimes they must be focused on all 7. So the body usually, the body and spirit usually dictates and let me know what needs to happen, especially if there's some physical discomfort in the body. Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes it seems that things like depression, for example, can be an imbalance in a couple of different chakras.
Yes. Yes.
So you would have to perhaps work with both of those, or how?
Yes.
How would, yeah.
Yes. There will be multiple triggers for the depression. So it's then to look at where have you stopped allowing joy. And joy is in the Sacral Chakra. So, but it's in other chakras as well, what will cause depression. So it will be focusing on all those. And it's sometimes an area in our life that we've just decided it's not for me, or it's like some mention that they never felt loved. They don't know what love feels like. And then it's to connect them with the higher realm so that they can start feeling that love from source, experiencing it and feeling it.
Sorry.
No.
Sorry.
It's to listen to the alarm bells that sometimes comes to us. Yeah, it's to listen when the body is ringing and saying, "Hey."
Okay, thanks. Thank you, Fiona. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Anybody else have got any questions on chakras or chakra balancing or what's been ailments? No? Okay. Well, then I just would like to thank you all for participating in this and giving me the opportunity to express myself. We'll see there's one recorded talk as well. And if ever you need a chakra balancing, how I do it is I use Reiki, I use crystals, I use sound, I use words, I use breathing, I use every tool that I have, oils and stuff. I'm guided in what it is that you need. I find that by each healing modality has got its own benefits, and sometimes people just need silence. Sometimes they need a touch of the body. Sometimes they need the words. They need to remember the trigger words. And when they say, "Okay, I need to release anger." Oh yes, I have anger. Oh, how did you know I have anger? And then release it. So I'm very much guided in the session in what it is that you need to help you release with the release, because most people don't know how to let go of it. So yes. You can find me on any social media site, or you'll find all my details on the wellness group as well. And there's a free session for one lucky drawer for a 2-hour session with me. So I'm not exactly sure how that's going to be drawn, but I'm sure Tracy will know. So yes, just I look forward to connecting or seeing some of your faces again. See some of my clients are here, so it's awesome. Thanks for the support, and have a beautiful day and enjoy the rest of the talks. Thank you. Bye. Bye.